That's better, isn't it? Greetings. I think I'll put that camera down a wee bit. That's possibly better, is it? That's not too bad. Maybe a wee bit. Wait a minute. See, somebody fiddles about with this and it cuts me out. Anyway, nice to see you all. Who's in the room today? Ewan Engstrom. God bless you, brother. How you doing? Anthony Corkin. Nice to see you. Excellent. Brian Surrock. How are you, sir? Paul Telford. Westover 1314. How you doing? And Anthony H. God bless you. Roger Madison. How are you? Good. God bless you all. Nice to see you in here. We've got an interesting show today. But we'll have a wee bit of scripture first. Let's have a look. We're in Psalm 117. It's a wee short psalm. Might even be the shortest psalm, I'm not sure. Psalm 117. Hear ye the Lord. Praise the Lord, all ye nations. Praise him, all ye people. For his merciful kindness is great towards us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. Praise ye the Lord. Amen. And we know the Lord will bless this public reading of his infallible, inspired, and inerrant word. And the people of God said, Amen. And amen indeed. I love the Psalms, do you? The Psalms are wonderful. Put this beautiful Bible back in its place out of the way. Yeah, the Psalms are great. I would recommend people read more of them. They're very good. Who else is in? Yes, amen, Anthony. Yes, Brian Surrock, amen. How are you? Yes, you see the thing today, the origins of the world famous war cry, No Surrender. Not just the war cry, but the attitude that from Americans' point of view was probably exemplified inside that place in San Antonio, the Alamo. The Alamo. Because many, if not most of the people inside the Alamo, great-grandpappies, came from here, Northern Ireland, because most of the people in the Alamo were Kentucky men and Tennessee men and so on and so forth. They came from up there and they came down to Texas to seek their fortune and whatnot. But their grandfathers came from here. That had been their flag at one time. So there we go, because that's an ancient flag. It's back hundreds and hundreds of years. And what they were doing in the Alamo was basically reenacting what their grandpappies had done at the siege of Londonderry. That's a city way up in the north. It's almost a completely communist city now. But that was besieged many years ago, and all the people from around this village and everywhere all went up there because it was a walled city. And they chose to suffer almost a year of starvation, famine and pestilence and bombardment rather than surrender. And when the king and his mighty army, the king who was a despot, when the king of Britain came to the doors to try and get in, the governor who was supposed to be looking after us was an Englishman, and he decided to let him in. And the people said, no, because we'll be slaughtered, we'll all be slaughtered. So 13 young boys, 13 apprentice boys, little apprentices, ran and shut the gates, and that's when the war cry went up, no surrender. Wouldn't you believe it? Yeah. So that's when the war cry was made, no surrender. And they shut the gates on the 18th of December, 1868, and the gates were kept closed. And they were relieved on the 12th of August, 1689. And they reckon about 30,000 people died. And if you go there today, there's a cathedral, a big mound, and that's where all the dead are. But this Saturday, there'll be the anniversary parade. They do it every year. It's a huge, massive parade. It's almost like a pilgrimage. It's almost like a spiritual pilgrimage. And at noon, the cathedral, St. Colum's Cathedral, hoists up the crimson flag of the blood of the martyrs, and the cannons go, and then thousands and thousands and thousands of people march. It's almost like a religious day of holy obligation for us. It's a strange thing. But we're going to show you some of that and see what you think anyway. We will just see. You're Paul Telford, descendant. Very good, Paul. I'll just check. Who was that, Sammy? Oh, Pitney Bowes, right. We'll get them sorted later. So there we go. So I'm going to give you a brief history of that, and we'll have a look at it. We've got this is just a wee short thing, part 1 and part 2, but it's just to give you an idea of that, because there's so much of the American character, the American folklore, but certainly that American rugged character of never say never and never give up. It finds its roots in this story, this very, very story here. This story didn't really particularly take root in England, but it took root in America, because so many of these men left Northern Ireland after a siege. I mean, almost immediately after it, 300,000 of us left and went to the Appalachians. And that's these people who survived that siege. So they were dogged, determined, tough old boys and women. And they went to the New World to get away from everybody, to get away from the British kings, to get away from everything that was annoying them, European wars. And that is why, to this day, the Americans got such a rugged self-determination and independent nature in them. And I think it's a wonderful part of your history. And a lot of Americans don't know where it comes from. Well, you're going to learn today. And I think it's great. And that's why there's such an affinity with us here. And you Americans, we're one and the same. So, I see Corkin in here. His ancestors were probably up there. His ancestors were probably there, no doubt about it. Hello, Lady Matriarch, how you doing? So let me have a look. Oh, there's a link there to the community guards, because I'll show you one of your guys in Belfast getting harassed. One of the guys in Lancashire in England's getting harassed. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I'll show you that in a minute. But let's have a look at this first so we can understand this. This is part 1, okay? It's only short.
The Apprentice Boys of Derry is made up of 8 parent clubs, which together form the Apprentice Boys of Derry Association. The parent clubs are named in honour of the heroes of the siege, and each play a role in keeping the memory of the events of 1688 and 1689 alive, and paying tribute to the bravery and dedication of the siege heroes. The 8 parent clubs also reflect the fact that there were 8 regiments of troops formed within the city at the time of the siege. The Murray Club is named in honour of Colonel Adam Murray, who, along with Henry Baker, is credited with leading the defiant revolt against Lundy's willingness to surrender to the Jacobites. It was Murray who resurrected the battle cry of no surrender in the face of Lundy's indecision and restored belief to the beleaguered men and women of Londonderry. The Baker Club is named in honour of Major Henry Baker. Baker was elected governor of the city to replace Robert Lundy, whose loyalty to the city was questioned. Baker immediately requested that another governor be elected alongside him, and Reverend Walker was selected to serve. Major Baker oversaw the military command within the city walls and served the city with distinction until his death from the fever which claimed so many victims from within the besieged city. The Mitchelburn Club takes its name from Colonel John Mitchelburn, who served as governor of the city upon Henry Baker's death in the latter days of the siege, and is credited with flying the crimson flag from the tower of St. Columb's Cathedral to mark the victorious relief of the siege. The original flag was believed to have been a piece of cloth that Mitchelburn found on the city's walls and dipped in a pool of blood, and flew in defiance of the Jacobites from the city walls and then from St. Columb's Cathedral as a signal of distress to the relieving ships in Lough Foyle. The crimson flag remains to this day the emblem of the siege, and the colour is worn on the collarette of every apprentice boy. Mitchelburn was also the founder of the first Apprentice Boys Club and the inspiration for the ongoing commemoration of the siege. The Campsie Club is named in honour of Henry Campsie, who is remembered as the first man to shed blood in the defence of the city in 1688. It was Campsie who led the original 13 apprentice boys in closing the gates of the city in the face of the Jacobites, and it is reported that he was badly wounded while leading his colleagues to secure the city magazine and armoury. His injuries were an inspiration to those in Londonderry and a warning of the sacrifices that would be demanded in defence of the city. The Browning Club takes its name from one of the great martyrs of the siege. Michael Browning was captain of the Mountjoy as it broke the boom and led the relief of the city. Browning was also a native of Londonderry and perhaps had a more personal interest in relieving the city than most. However, after breaking the boom, the Mountjoy ran aground and was attacked from the shore by Jacobites. Browning was killed in the attack and his body brought into the city that he helped to save, where it is today buried in St. Columb's Cathedral. Perhaps the most noted figure of the siege is Reverend George Walker. A native of County Tyrone, Reverend Walker sought refuge in Londonderry as the siege preparations were underway. He swiftly took on a leadership role, both as a churchman and a soldier. He was elected joint governor of the city with Henry Baker and was a popular leader with the people of the city. His place in history was secured with the rapid publication of his account of the siege of Londonderry, a history of the siege that was published within weeks of the relief of the city. Walker was immortalised in Follingsby's portrait of him pointing to the relieving ships in Lough Foyle, an image that was reproduced on top of Walker's pillar, a 90-foot-high memorial to the siege that was destroyed in the Troubles in 1973. The Walker Club is named in his honour. The two remaining clubs of the Apprentice Boys are the No Surrender Club, named for the battle cry of the original Apprentice Boys as they closed the gates to the city, and the Apprentice Boys of Derry Club, which was originally formed by Mitchelburn back in 1714. Through the naming of these clubs and the activities of the Apprentice Boys, the memory of the heroes of the siege is kept alive today and for generations to come.
And interesting, in that big cathedral in the background there, all the old battalion regimental flags, and there's even flags in there that were carried during the American Revolutionary War. You believe that? Flags that British regiments carried in the Revolutionary War, they get retired and they get put in the cathedral. I think some of these were over the night ceremony. When you walk into the Downpatrick Cathedral, the first flag on the left-hand side is a regimental flag that was flown, I think, at Lexington or something like that. Yeah. Incredible, isn't it? What history? How much are we linked or what? The sea, there may be a big 2,000 miles of sea between us, but in here, in our veins, we're one people. Don't forget that. It's incredible. Brian Sirk says, isn't it funny, 250 years later? Well, for us, it's nearly 400 years later. People want to shackle freedom again. Listen, this is the problem. Freedom always has to be defended. I mean, we're an ancient country, and there's many times we had the wars with the Vikings in the 890s AD, and then we had the Normans invading us in 1066, and then we had the English Civil War 1641, then we had this carry on and later on in the century. You've no idea. And in Ireland here we had 1641, we had 1798 revolutions, we had the 1840s, 1880s, 1920s, and then the Troubles in the 1960s, 70s, 80s and 90s. So freedom has always got to be defended by men. So there you go. Let's see part 2 and we'll get this to bed, then we'll go into some other very interesting stuff.
For many Protestants, the story of the Siege of Londonderry is central to their history and identity. If the siege had been broken by the Jacobites, then it is argued that the Protestant population of Ireland would have been decimated and potentially even destroyed completely. This significance was enhanced by the fact that Protestants have remained a minority in Ireland. In this context, the memory of the unity and ultimate triumph of the besieged Protestants of Londonderry was underlined, and the importance of commemorating the siege was given an ongoing political dimension. In the immediate aftermath of the siege, early efforts were made to record the events of 1689 for posterity, and, as with the siege itself, they were bathed in controversy. The first account of the siege to be produced was that of Governor Walker himself. Walker was governor of the city following Lundy's departure, and his account drew rapid criticism, most notably from John Mackenzie, a Presbyterian minister also present in the city through the siege. The central criticism of Walker's account was that it exaggerated his own role and importance in events, and suppressed the role of Presbyterians in the siege. Numerous pamphlets were then written and circulated by a range of individuals, often giving a personalized account of events. The first large-scale commemoration of the siege took place in 1789, with a range of processions and events organised in Londonderry to mark its centenary. These celebrations, which took place under the Liberal Bishop Hervey, are notable for the participation of the Roman Catholic bishop. Prior to the centenary, clubs had existed to mark the August relief of Londonderry through the hoisting of a crimson flag at St Columb's Cathedral and services in the cathedral. It was in 1814 that the memory of the siege was finally ensured for future generations, with the re-establishment of the Apprentice Boys of Derry Club, which had been formed in 1714, named in honour of the young men that had initiated the siege by shutting the city's gates. Many of the original apprentice boys were those same original defenders of the city from 25 years before. By 1824, the No Surrender Club of the Apprentice Boys had begun to arrange regular parades in the city to mark the siege. Further to the parades and Walker's Pillar, services were held in St Columb's Cathedral to mark the shutting of the gates and the relief of Derry, accompanied by the ringing of the bells. But Irish politics had well and truly impacted upon the memory of the siege, and for many it came to be viewed as a Protestant victory and therefore a Catholic defeat. Such sentiments were intensified by the Home Rule debates, and Apprentice Boys' parades became a target for friction in the city. This situation worsened with partition and the recent troubles, with parades often being a target for disorder and opposed by newly formed residence groups. However, in recent years, a new maturity has come to the memory of the siege. The Apprentice Boys parades are accompanied by a festival and programme of cultural activity in the city, which has seen a much wider acknowledgement and celebration of the actions of those original apprentice boys, who, in closing the city's gates, could never have appreciated the far-reaching consequences of their actions. The Apprentice Boys of Derry dates back almost 300 years to an organisation established by Colonel John Mitchelburn, who had been one of the governors of the city at the end of the siege. Mitchelburn established the Apprentice Boys of Derry Club in 1714 to celebrate the relief of Derry by flying the crimson flag from St Columb's Cathedral and holding a service of thanksgiving each August. Prior to this, Mitchelburn had organised a siege commemoration service in 1692, where he presented St Columb's Cathedral with the captured flags of 2 French Jacobite regiments from the siege battle of Windmill Hill. Following Mitchelburn's death, the Apprentice Boys Club ceased to exist for a number of years, although commemorations of the siege continued to take place throughout the 18th century. It was in 1814 that the Apprentice Boys of Derry Club was resurrected by Benjamin J. Darkus to give a focus and organisation to the siege commemorations and ensure that they were put onto a more formal footing. As religion became more important in Irish politics, so the importance for Protestants, who were very much a minority in Ireland, of marking events such as the siege was increased. The early activities of the Apprentice Boys were as much social as they were commemorative. Dinners were held each year in Londonderry, Dublin, Belfast and Scotland, at which members would wear medals engraved with Governor Walker's image, drink loyal toasts and sing loyal songs. The club-based structure became a feature of the Apprentice Boys, with clubs named after heroes of the siege, and the No Surrender Club named after the defiant cry of the defenders. Members join a local club, which is in turn affiliated to a parent club of the Apprentice Boys in Londonderry. The General Committee is the governing body and manages all of the work of the organisation. One of the key early achievements of the Apprentice Boys was the erection of the Walker Pillar between 1826 and 1828, which placed Governor Walker almost 90 feet over the city and stood as a lasting monument to the siege until it was destroyed in the Troubles. Through the 20th century, the Apprentice Boys became part of the fabric of life in the city. The Memorial Hall was one of the main social venues for all religious and political persuasions, and the parades drew huge crowds each August for the Relief of Derry celebrations and December for the Shutting of the Gates commemoration, which climaxes with the burning of Lundy in effigy. Today, the Apprentice Boys are part of the fabric of both the city and Protestant heritage and identity in Northern Ireland. With almost 10,000 members, who must all be sworn in as members within the city walls as a key part of the initiation to the association, and up to 15,000 members, musicians and supporters attending the annual Relief of Derry procession each August, the Apprentice Boys is one of the largest historical and cultural groups in the United Kingdom. As Northern Ireland moves into a new future that seeks to develop greater understanding of the past, the Apprentice Boys are at the forefront of a changing society, seeking to explain and commemorate a crucial chapter in the history of the United Kingdom and Ireland. In the coming years, a new museum is planned at the Memorial Hall to bring the story of the heroes of the Great Siege to new audiences, and the Maiden City Festival, which takes place as part of the Relief of Derry celebrations each August, continues to underline the unique cultural contribution that the Apprentice Boys have made to Londonderry. But perhaps the greatest achievement of the Apprentice Boys of Derry, as they look towards their 300th anniversary, is that the actions of those original, brave 13 young men can now never be forgotten.
Oh, I hope you found that interesting. And it's interesting they're saying there that the biggest militias, not just in Britain, but probably in Europe, probably 2 of the 3 biggest militias in the entire European continent are based here in Northern Ireland. There's no accident that the Templars decided this would be the sort of European HQ. We've got other places in Hungary and Serbia and whatnot, but this is the land of the militias. And these clubs are all named after different Apprentice Boys. Baker Club, this is what I am a member of. So there you go. Yes, he's my Apprentice Boys thing. So there we go. So this is the land of militias. We have hundreds and hundreds of years of experience in organising militias and all the paraphernalia that goes along with organising militias. So no accident that we're here, is there? So there we are. The militias are important. Thank you very much. Now, talking about the community stuff, our wee guy in Manchester, Jamie, he's been visited with the police 6 days in a row, and they've actually he's on police bail. They arrested him and put him on police bail, which basically is nonsense. They're not charged him with anything, but they put him on police bail. So he's got a demo this Saturday in 2 days' time, but he can't go to it because he's in the bail. He's not allowed to be in the company of more than 10 people, so therefore he can't go to his own demo. This is what they're up to. You've no idea the pressure some of these boys are at. So all we're asking for you to do is throw in a couple of shekels, a couple of pounds, a couple of dollars, a couple of groats to help these guys. Here's the recent one from one of the guys in Belfast who have been doing a lot, and this is one of the guys they've been doing a lot of stuff with, the Templar flags and all the rest of it, and they're doing stuff on the streets, and we're doing our best to help them. But here's what happened the other day. The police decided to pay him a visit, about 5 Land Rovers with heavily armed police. Unbelievable, and just harassing the poor guy for no reason at all. Nothing. Have a look at this.
Hey, look at this. Look. 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 Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Look. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Look. 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 Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this.
Down here.
Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Look. Hey, look at this.
Sergeant,
Hey,
see
look
what
at
happened?
this. Look.
Was that intimidation or what? Was that intimidation?
Thank you.
Hey, look at this. Look. Hey, look at this. Look. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Look. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Look. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Look. Hey, look
Chris,
at this.
you shouldn't be saying like that. You attack the PEL community.
Hey, look at this. Look. 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 Hey, hey, look at this. Look. Hey, hey, look at this. Look.
You ever seen as many police going into somebody's wee house in your life? This is Pinky. You should pay for Pinky. And what's his crime? He's filming these illegal migrants who are getting jobs as doormen and security guards. They shouldn't be working at all. They're illegal migrants. And they're filming them because they're touching up the young girls. They're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And Pinky and some of the other lads who we help, they're filming them. And then say to the police, look, do your job. Get this sorted out. This shouldn't be happening. And for that, they're labelled far right. And then they get subject to horrific harassment. All those policemen in your house. It's the same with your guy in Manchester. The police have been in his house 6 days in a row. So although you're maybe sitting there in Kentucky or Arizona or New Mexico or Texas and whatnot, and this is, you watch me and you see this happening and you know cerebrally what's happening, you really need to feel it. This is what we're living with day in, day out. We are living under a junta where you can say nothing. And even social media posts are, you get a chap at the door, 12,000 people are in prison in this country. Let me just repeat that to you. 12,000 people in this country are in prison for social media posts. In an American equivalent, you're about, what, 6 times bigger than us? That would be 70-odd thousand people in America in prison for hurty words. Not death threats, nothing like that. Just saying something that the government doesn't agree with. listen, we could not have our premises in England. Couldn't, we'd all be in jail by now. Northern Ireland's a wee bit better. But that's what's going on in this country. That's what's going on in Germany and in Italy and in Spain and in France and in Belgium and in every single country in Europe. This is what we are having to endure, having to live with, and having to combat every day of our lives. So therefore, you can either crawl away into a ball. And by the way, there's some of your Templar people, don't want to say too much here, some of your Templar people are under serious pressure with the police right now. But we either give up and crawl into a ball, or we stand up and fight like our forefathers fought. Well, I can tell you this now, I don't have a surrender bone in my body. And we won't be crawling up into a ball and going away. We will fight and fight and fight, and whoever gets taken out, somebody else will take their place. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. We won't be intimidated. Absolutely not. So please help these lads, help these brave lads. You can sit in your house nice and comfortable, and that's fine. But these guys are on the street, so let's give them the help and the assistance they need. Look at the harassment them, their wives, their children are putting up with. All they need is our help to get them vests and more cameras and things like that. So if you can do that. I hear a phone ringing, I think it's up there. Marion, you got it? It's okay. I hear a phone ringing, nobody's touching it. So there we go. Yes, well, okay, Ewan, I didn't want to say it, but Ewan said there, Ewan had a very, very good job. Very lucrative job. Very responsible job, because he's a very good, responsible man. He's lost his job. Fired. No way. Get out. Ewan. Our Ewan. And he's not the only one. Ewan's been fired. Nick's got the cops all over him. Jada lost her house. I've been flung in jail and on house arrest for years. You've no idea what a lot of your people suffer. No idea. So yeah, pray for Ewan so he finds another job. Because not only that, in Europe, once they've got you marked in some kind of system, when you go for another job, it comes up and you go, you're one of these far right crazy people. And that's what annoys me, because I had a thing in Discord yesterday. I don't know if everybody's on Discord, and had some kind of discussion. I was saying, look, this nonsense that politics is going to save us is utterly ridiculous. It's an insult to my intelligence as an adult. And then all of a sudden, a lot of our people who should know better will say, well, what, you're just saying we do nothing. When did I ever say? When have you ever heard Jim Dawson saying, do nothing? I say fight, fight, fight. But what not to do? Absolutely do not, as a grown man, waste your time on silly, infantile, feminine fantasy politics. Women can have wee fantasies, kids can have wee fantasies and daydreams. Men, we've got to deal with reality. So every single moment is lost on stupid, imbecilic politics. Remember, I've been at this for 40 years. Nick's been at it for a wee bit longer. We can tell you if a party's got a chance of winning or not. Rupert Lowe, the Restore Party, he isn't even building a party. He's got no infrastructure. He has no chance of even winning any seats, never mind becoming into power. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. It's like me announcing I'm going to stand to be the next Pope in Rome. It is that ludicrous. It's completely irrelevant. It's madness. And sometimes I get very frustrated because I've got to explain this to grown men. It is ludicrous. And if you knew anything about it, if you understood politics, you sat down with a pen and paper and looked into it, you would see it was ludicrous. So I get very cross when people just spout things to me without any backup. And it shows me they've not given any careful thought and consideration to it. So it's just a throwaway remark. I want all the Muslims out. Yeah. So what? Is that what me saying? I want all the Muslims out. I can say it 100 million times. Will it do it? No, of course it won't, because it's just words. It's hot air. It's hot air. We don't deal in hot air in the Templars. We deal with reality. So we're not saying don't do anything, but what we are saying is do not waste your time in fake, ridiculous, stupid politics, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's way too late. We're 20 years past that. There's a civil war coming. Get ready for it and warn people. The thing is, if you waste your time in politics and you tell people, oh, if we get Rupert Lowe in, if we get the two parties, Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage together, they've a chance of winning. They've absolutely no chance of winning. None. Zero. Zilch. None. Impossible. And we went through this with UKIP. People were saying they're going to win. We said they won't win. They didn't even win one seat. They got one seat, but that was somebody jumping from another party out of 650 in Parliament. And the amount of times I was blue in the face trying to convince grown men they're not going to win. They're not going to win. And they get one seat out of 650. It's the same with this. It's totally and utterly absurd absurd. So we say, do not waste any time in that, because it's dangerous. Because you're giving people a false sense of security, and that is wicked. That's wicked. So you walk by somebody's house and you see their house on fire, and you tell them, don't worry, the flames are going to go out soon. Don't worry about it. You don't need to jump out. You don't need to escape. Just stay where you are. It's all going to be taken care of soon. The fire brigade's coming when they're not coming, and leaving those people in a burning building. Do you understand why I get frustrated? It's not because I don't want to be proved wrong. That's fine. You can prove me wrong. But when something like, it's like somebody trying to tell me the sun isn't hot, and me saying it is. It's no matter being proven wrong. It's so blatantly and patently obvious what's going on. It blows my mind that grown men can't see it. But what you're doing is you're telling people to stay in the burning building. Everyone's fine. We're telling them your building's roaring in fire. It's going to be destroyed. You need to get out or you're going to perish. That's what our job is as Templars and as men. Not to peddle lies and nonsense. Okay? It's very, very important. It's craziness. It's craziness. I find it very frustrating. But even some of our people are guilty of that, believing this claptrap nonsense. So there we are. But let me show you some other things that's going on here. It's quite incredible stuff. We've got the Fleadh. I don't know if you know what the Fleadh is. The Fleadh is a big festival of Irish culture. It's never been held in Belfast before because of the religious problems and all that. But anyway, it's in the Fleadh all week. It's a week long and everybody's enjoying it and it's good fun. And it's fantastic, and we're celebrating different forms of Irish music and dancing. And for the first time ever, it's cross-community, Catholics and Protestants together. Thank you, Jesus. It's happening. Hundreds of thousands of people in Belfast. Now, this isn't particularly there, but here's an example of how the tradition goes from father to son and mother to daughter. And this is why Ireland's still a strong nation. And I know Ireland's in a bad way now, but let me tell you something. If you think for a minute Ireland is going to fall to Muslims, you must be joking. Because we've, in our hearts, we've got tradition and thousands of years of resistance. Don't forget that. But look at this. This is very sweet. This is an Irish dancer with a wee kid. Look at this.
Que pueden ir preparando la siguiente sentencia porque...
No, that's a crazy Spanish fascist woman. I'll show you that in a minute. Here it is. Wait a minute.
See that baby shot?
I see her, yeah. Very good.
Was that no fantastic? Yeah. What are you doing up here? Look, the people are there. Look, they're in there. You're getting camera shy now. Dear me, this dog, it's mad, isn't it? But isn't that lovely? So that's one wee kid, you can see how they move because it's in them. This is better than this is fascist Spanish woman. We'll see her in a minute. But our kids also do the same. sorry, this is the one. Now, that was a wee Irish kid dancing, because seeing the adult dancing. What's your wee kid dancing? Our culture's a bit more aggressive, but what's your wee kid dancing when you hear the drums? It's in them. It's just in this kid's about 4. It's in them. All right, so... No, I watched that wee girl. She was sitting with her mum. That's how her bum's all dirty. She was sitting with her mum. There is no dance to those drums, but the beat just got to her and she couldn't help herself when she was up. So you can see the Irish is all very, different and very nice. Our culture is very warlike, very aggressive. And that's just the situations we've found ourselves in for years. So everything we do is always with a kind of war, like perspective to it. Another reason we've got the priory here. But it's excellent, isn't it? See how we kids, doesn't matter what culture they're from, it's in them from an early age. And that wee girl was sitting with her mum, and all of a sudden the drum started. Woof, up she was, and she was just dancing. How is the Pentecostals? Is the spirit led her? Wonderful. And when you've got wee kids like that, your country is always going to be free. Let me tell you. I put a big drum in my back bedroom. I went like your neighbours, lady, made sure if you're practicing a big drum in the bedroom. Oh my goodness. Absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Stirs the blood. It does stir the blood. And that's our war drums. And if you've seen in front of it, was a big crimson banner of the Holy Martyrs. It's great. And, people say, I'll just let my kids decide themselves when they're old enough what they want to be. No, because the world will have brainwashed them by then. No. You make sure that you get the brainwashing done first and bring your kids up in the fear and admonition of the Lord and in your own particular tribal culture. Pump it into them every minute of the day, every time you can get a chance, get it into them. And that's what we do here. And people say we're terrible, knuckle dragging, Bible bashing retards. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Well, people are not green hair and bones for their noses. Okay? So, in fact, we had one of Sammy's wife's family up here the weekend, and they were out for dinner. They were out for something to eat in the pub, and a gay guy came in, being all gay, woohoo! And she was like 15. She's like, "What is that? What's wrong with that guy?" And he went, "He's gay." She said, "You have gays here? You have gays here? Oh my goodness! Let's go. Let's leave." That's a great reaction. It's brilliant. So there we are. So there we go. So remember, please pray for brother. E1, he's a good guy, does a lot of work for the order. It's just a pity. We've had plenty of money we could employ him, but we don't. But it's very difficult. We struggle to stay alive most of the time because the pressure we're under is enormous. And we lost our TikTok, 70,000 people, gone. Last week, just took us out with the roots. Incredible. And this is the problem we've got in Ireland here. Everybody's under this false impression, especially Americans, like the Sinn Féin, IRA, were great heroes of the people. Well, here's Martin McGuinness, who's now dead. That same thing, same brain thing as I've got, but he's the Irish version, so he died quick, and I've got the British version. Yes, up the Brits. But here he is with a Muslim who's into the Muslim Brotherhood, who's a very extreme Muslim, and some people gave him a bit of grief. So Sinn Féin comforted him and looked after him and all the rest of it. And here he is, giving Martin McGuinness a presentation of a Quran. And this guy is Muslim Brotherhood. Really scary guy. Well, people say he's Muslim Brotherhood. I don't know if he is. It's alleged he's Muslim Brotherhood. Let me correct that. But I've heard some of his speeches, and he shouldn't even be in Britain. He should not be in this country, in my opinion. he should not be here. Have a wee look.
And we are really glad to have Mr. McGuinness' support from day one. When the story broke out, he was supporting the Muslim community and condemned the comments made by the pastor. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank him for this support, and I would like to present him a token copy of the Quran to Mr. McGuinness. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So there we go. That's the leader of the IRA taking the Quran. And what the Muslim was going on about is because Pastor McConnell, you remember the pastor who said Islam was evil and satanic? That's what he was talking about. And the first people to back the Muslims up, Sinn Féin IRA. That's what you're up against. That's what we're up against. That's what the poor Irish are up against. It doesn't bother me because I don't come from a community where the IRA rules supreme or Sinn Féin. I don't come from that community. I come from another community. We're all mad right-wing conservatives. But you've got to pray for the Irish Catholics because they live in housing estates, especially in the hoods that are controlled by Mark McGuinness's men. So they can't even voice their opposition to immigrants, or else the boys will come round and chap your door and maybe beat you up. It's terrible. It's terrible. On the Holy Alliance, if ever was on, I present a Bible. Can you imagine it? You wouldn't take a Bible off you, that boy. No way. Anyway, I'll give you a wee clip of this. There's something happening all across Europe, in Spain, in Italy, and in Britain. People are becoming hardcore right. And I mean hardcore right, fascist right. And here's a nice girl in Spain, and she's done a good job. She's having none of it. And they're all outside the Moroccan embassy complaining that those people invaded Spain last week. 60,000 people came across the border in one day. So here she is. I don't know her, I do know her name, but I can't remember it. But she's a good girl. Have a
Que
look.
pueden ir preparando la siguiente sentencia, porque esta no la lanzamos por el correo electrónico.
Let's have a wee other look here. Did you see the salute? See the salute? She ripped the thing up. Then what's wrong with these lights? She's done the salute, the old Roman salute. It's not Nazi. These people are fascist. You got to know the difference. They're kind of after the same vein as Generalissimo, Franco. So have a wee look at her again. Here she is.
Que pueden ir preparando la siguiente sentencia, porque esta no la lanzamos por el correo electrónico.
Ooh, it's all getting a bit funky, isn't it? What do you think of that? That's it. Thank you, Ewan. Isabella Peralta. God bless her. God bless her. We've got some other ones doing the same thing, actually. I'll maybe show it in a wee minute if I can just get it in time. I'm going to show you something a wee bit funny. It was a wee bit bad. And, you know, people, just before I do that, because it's quite funny, you know, because we keep saying to people, don't waste your time in politics in this country, in Britain, and people think we're preaching, I don't know, pacifism or inaction. Are you mad? And you know what makes me really angry? People who spout nonsense, but this guy will win the election, everyone will be saved. That costs you nothing. What we do, preparing for war, is very difficult, very difficult. And I'm working 12 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so do other people in the Templar HQ. So it annoys us when people say, well, you're red pilling everybody. We need to do something. Well, what are you doing? What, putting your X on a ballot paper for a balloon, a fool that'll never get elected? Oh yeah, that'll work. Good on you. This is for the birds. Because I come from a community. I come from a community that suffered terribly. And the war here is only over a few years. We still have the odd killing and shooting and bombing. But I was watching a documentary the other day and they showed you terrorist incidents in the 1970s all over the world. You know, obviously there was a lot of them. But Northern Ireland had more than anybody. Each year we had an average of 10,000 bombings. Just let's think into your head a minute. 10,000 bombings and 15, 20,000 shootings per year in a wee tiny place like this. It was truly horrendous. Truly horrendous. And then one day in the 70s, this happened. It was called Bloody Black Friday or Bloody Friday. This is what we had to put up with. This is who we are, and this is why we believe in action, not hot air. 22 bombs in an hour. 22 bombs in an hour. And a guy from my village was killed at the buses. And there's a video of him shoveling up his body parts into a bag, blown to bits. And a minister's son, his only son, 12-year-old, went up to try and help at the shops because there was a bomb went off, and another went off and killed him. His only son. This is what we've had to put with. This is no cerebral exercise for us. We're not just talking here because, like other people and everybody else on the internet, all these other groups, they've no experience of this. They're talking and talking, we'll fight, we'll do this, we'll do that. They haven't a clue. Many of us here in Northern Ireland, we've lived through it. We've been part of it. And we've been to the funerals of children. Many children have been to the funerals with wee white coffins. Many children's funerals have been who have been shot, blown up, and standing with their parents and going to the houses and giving their condolences. We've been there, done it. Very few people can do that. So listen, I might not be perfect, Mr. Giffen might not be perfect, Jada might not be perfect, and the rest of us might not be perfect, but we have lived through this. We know about it. So when anybody else is yapping online, what do they know? Nothing. We know all about it. And it is what it is. Yeah, Ewan says they're that girl. That's a fascist group. They have crosses and everything. They're not Nazis. The Nazis are, anti-Christian. These are not. Give me another wee. I've found another wee clip here. Here she is. Here. Is a wee bit similar to our cross. It's like a sword, a wee bit similar. But if you want to show solidarity with right-wing Spaniards, don't say Viva España. Say Arriba España. Arriba España. The S is a, you know that. Arriba España. That's what you shout to the right wing. But listen, I'm by nature a clerical fascist, so I don't have a problem with it. So I'm all for it. It's fine. But anyway, I'll finish off with you. I want to show you this funny thing. And it's a wee bit irreverent, but this is what you're up against here in Ireland. This is a Southern Irish comedian. He's very, very funny, but he's a left winger. He's totally left wing, and he uses comedy to attack you, which is quite effective actually. It's a very good way of doing it. But he is funny, and this is him. He was asked about if he was going to wish the Americans a happy 4th of July a few weeks ago. And this was the skit that he made, and I thought it was actually quite funny. But we'll have a wee look at this before we finish up. Okay, have a wee look at this.
Michael, do you want to wish all your American friends a very happy 4th of July?
America, where's that, Kathleen? Never heard of it.
In America? Just America?
Sure, Canadians are Americans, Kathleen. And Uruguayans are Americans. And Mexicans are Americans.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Americans.
United Staters, you mean, Kathleen?
Oh, okay, whatever. Look, I just wanted to know, did you want to wish them a happy 4th of July?
I wish them nothing, Kathleen. Sure, didn't they kill all the Indians? And the Indians used to make lovely food, Kathleen.
Oh, that's true, though. I'm sure the Indians have passed down traditional recipes.
They used to make the chicken tikka, Kathleen.
No.
And the papadums.
No.
And Windaloo.
No, Michael, those are Indians from India. I mean, like, Native American Indians. The first people, they have the feathers on their heads.
Mexicans!
No, Michael, the first people of America, Native American Indians.
Like Donald Trump?
Well, he's not a Native American.
But he's American, Kathleen!
Yeah, but he's not a Native American. He's descendants from Denmark and Germany. Those are his ancestors.
But how can he be president, Kathleen?
Well, Barack Obama was president.
Oh, Jesus.
And a lot
Obama!
Oh, yeah.
Obama was Irish, Kathleen!
Well...
I go Connemara Tannenham!
Yeah, but people had a lot of difficulties knowing where he was from.
I think I know the ones you're on about now, Kathleen!
Go on.
The laddings on the horses!
Yeah.
And the Bonaro!
Yeah.
And the Bishkelp and the cowboys, Kathleen!
That's right.
Crazy cunt!
No, this crazy horse, yeah.
And Sitting Bull!
Who?
Sitting Bull!
Oh.
He used sick, Kathleen, because he had legs like me after a motorbike crash.
Yeah, but anyway, Michael,
a horse.
I want to talk about the more modern American fans you have. They're going to be having celebrations with fireworks.
There's plenty of fireworks in Iraq, Kathleen, after that.
Michael, and, they'll be drinking Bud Light and...
Sure, Bud Light, because they can't handle anything stronger, Kathleen.
Okay, and they'll be having barbecues and eating apple pie and things like that.
And you're forgetting the greatest American thing ever, Kathleen.
What?
Shooting each other in the face with handguns.
Michael!
There is some Americans who do that, but they're not the same colour as me, as we know. But that's one of the most famous comedians in Ireland, and he does this. He's a left winger, of course, but he is quite funny. I seen that skit and I thought, dear me, the most famous American thing ever, shooting each other in the face with handguns. Well, some Americans do that, but not our people. You know what I mean? But that's left-wing propaganda for you, as you well know. There's not much you can do about it. So we've came to the end there. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I'll be off on Saturday doing these parades and all the rest of it. It's almost like a pilgrimage for us to remember our heritage and to remember the sacrifice of those who went before us. So, war's never finished for us in this country. It's real. It's very real. And I think that's another reason why the Council of Nine decided to put the main European headquarters here, because this whole area is full of men who were in the troubles in their own lifetime. So we know it's coming, and we know it's going to be needed. And what won't be needed is debating societies and pointless debates. Do you know something? I said to somebody the other day there, and he was a bit shocked. I says, I utterly despise intellectualism. Not intellectuals. We need clever people. But I despise intellectualism, because all they do is sit and talk a load of old rubbish. At times you just got to put the books down and do all of that. And intellectualism is an awful thing. I think men hide behind several things. They hide behind intellectualism. It's an excuse for inactivity. And they hide behind politics in the ballot box. Another excuse for inactivity. Well, I don't like it. It's not me, and it's never the way I'm going to be in my life. We are having to prepare for what's coming, and we have to make sure our people are looked after. And remember, whatever happens here is going to happen in America. So we have to make sure that the lessons we learn here are documented and put down so that our American brethren don't have to make the same mistakes as us, okay? So it's very important that we do that. So that's it. I'll leave you with this beautiful, beautiful hymn. It's a beautiful hymn. Probably the finest hymn ever. And the reason I'm playing this today is because that wonderful cathedral you've seen in Londonderry in one of the films earlier, this is where this man was converted on a ship just outside, in Lough Swilly, just outside Londonderry. He was a slave owner and a terrible man, a blasphemer. And there was a terrible storm, and God frightened the life out of him, frightened the devil out of him. And he was so besought with his sin, he was under such conviction of sin, he fled from the boat and ran up the hill to St. Colum's Cathedral, which I showed you earlier with the crimson banner on it, and he threw himself down in front of the altar and repented of his sins. And later on, he became a minister, and I've been and seen his grave as well. And he wrote this hymn. He wrote this hymn. And he also wrote another one called There Is a Green Hill Far Away. So he wrote them in Londonderry after his conversion experience. So I'm going to leave you with it. God bless you all. Hope you enjoy it and think well on the words as well. So God bless each and every one of you. I shall be back with you on Sunday if the good Lord preserves me. But until then, remember, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Do us fall.